Beer has long been regarded as Australia's national drink. Australia's early days saw the rise and demise of many breweries. The Carlton Brewery was established in 1864 when John Bellman took over the premises in Bouverie Street, which had formerly been the North Melbourne Brewery. Beer has been produced at the site ever since. The Carlton Brewery quickly expanded to include most of the block between Bouverie and Swanston Streets up to Queensbury Street. Housed within this block is the brewery, the Trade Quality Control Centre, the Medical Centre, and the Personnel and Industrial Relations Department. The oldest building on the site dates back to 1858. The hop extract plant was housed in stables built in 1870. The stables are sited on a lane running through the brewery. The lane is still remembered as Ballarat Street. Opposite, in Swanston Street, is the Vehicle Maintenance and Trade Quality Control Workshop. In 1907, Carlton Brewery amalgamated with 5 other Melbourne breweries to form Carlton and United Breweries Limited. Since then, Carlton and United has established its reputation as one of the world's great brewers. In 1987, it was decided to close the brewery in Bouverie Street and move production to more modern facilities in Abbotsford. Since 1949, the Carlton Brewery had been used exclusively for the production of bulk beer in kegs. In 1960, the block brew house was built. This is situated in the centre of the building complex. Its introduction automated much of the brewing process, although traditional brewing methods were still used. There were, in fact, 2 discrete brewing plants within the one building capable of producing a total of over 800,000 litres of wort per day. Brewing was conducted on a batch basis, 24 hours a day. In the original block brew house, the mash tuns, vorlofts and kettles were all connected into one vertical block so that transfers could take place with the aid of gravity rather than by the use of pumps. The methods of brewing and fermentation vary slightly from one beer to another and from one brewery to another. Carlton beers are a combination of natural ingredients brewed to a tradition that dates back centuries. The basic ingredients of Carlton beer are water, hops, sugar or sucrose, yeast and barley. Before barley can be introduced to the brewing process, it must be converted into malt. Maltings were situated both locally in Melbourne and at Geelong. The first stage of the brewing process was the cleaning, weighing and crushing of the malt. There were 3 MEAG 6-roller mills at Carlton. Malt is crushed to enable efficient contact between the starch in the grain and the hot water in the mashing process. Crushed malt is called grist. Grist was conveyed to the grist bins, 2 for each mash tun, and located directly over those vessels. During the mashing process, grist is mixed with hot water at a carefully controlled temperature. Starch from the malt is converted into a solution of fermentable sugars. The mash tuns at Carlton had a characteristic ribbon agitator to ensure adequate mixing. The mash was then transferred to the lauter tuns to separate the liquid extract called wort from the spent grains. The mash was sprayed with hot water, sparging, to improve the efficiency of the extraction. The spent grains were sold to Victorian farmers as a cattle fodder. The wort was then pumped to the kettle. In 1979, a new stainless steel kettle was commissioned to replace the original 2 kettles in the block brew house. In the kettle, liquid sugar or liquid glucose is added to the wort and the brew is boiled to sterilise the product. The heating in the kettle was supplied by steam jackets around the base and sides of the vessel and by an internal steam percolator. After the 1-hour boil, wort was pumped to one of the fermentation cellars.